This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Welcome to the PhaseRunner basement. This is going to be an additional new hangout where we can get into all things Photoshop related, including challenges and competitions, and of course, plenty of giveaways. In this week's video, we're starting a brand new series where I use a generator to randomly pick 5 stock photos from the web. After we have all 5 images, it's then my job to try and create the best art I can with them using Photoshop. This should be interesting. Let's get into it. So it's pretty simple. We'll use the generator to pick 5 random images from the web. Now I have no idea what photos are going to be selected. I'm seeing these for the first time. It's choosing from thousands of royalty-free stock photos, so it could literally be anything. And if you want to try out this Frankenstein Photoshop experiment, then I'll drop a link in the description with the PSD file and all 5 images used. And I'll feature some of my favorites on the next episode. Okay, let's spin the wheel and see what we get. And again, I have no idea what's coming. And it's a cat. Okay, not what I was expecting, but I guess that's the point. I do like the eyes, there's some good details there. I'm not sure if that's a good start or not, to be honest. On to the next one. Oh, okay, now we're talking. That's a great image, but how am I gonna cat? I mean, when I saw the cat, I was already picturing the artwork going in one direction, but now seeing that, I mean, that's got to be our base plate for the artwork, right? Cool, I'm happy with that one, but I guess we'll see what comes next. That's... I don't know. I mean, it's another really random different image. That's 3, just 2 to go. Okay, wow, that's a lot of blur. It does have some lights though. I can definitely use those. Okay, 5th and final image. Let's try and end on a good one. Ah, okay. I don't know what that is, but I like it. It looks like some long exposure fire embers. There's a face in there too. Didn't realise. I'm happy with that one. Smoky light effects always come in handy. Right, we've got our 5 images. I'm just going to have a quick think about what I'm going to do with them. Okay, here we go then. So I've said it already, but let's face it, considering these are random assets, we're not likely to end up with a fantastic piece of art here. It's more of a challenge or exercise to help with thinking outside the box and how to get a bit more creative with things. But we'll see how it goes. I'll be happy as long as we can use a part of every image in some way. I definitely feel like we lucked out with this asset. It's the perfect base plate to build upon. Let's at least mix it up a bit by rotating it and moving it over to the side so it's different from the original. I'm then going to cut out the background. I'm thinking it would be cool to have this one mostly situated in space with some atmosphere just on the bottom half. So we can paint that in with a nice large soft round brush and change the colour to blue. Just need to fill in this gap, which we can do using content fill aware, and then we'll adjust the colours slightly and add some shadow. I like the idea of having various bridges protruding from this large structure, so for that all we need to do is find a nice spot and create a selection to copy, and then duplicate it to extend it, then find a nice place for it and repeat the steps a few times. Of course, at this angle we'd be seeing the top or underneath sections of the bridges, so we'll create another selection from a different spot and move those into place and transform the perspective and make a few lighting and colour changes where needed. Let's take a quick break to hear from today's sponsor, Skillshare. I'm always looking to level up my skills, whether that's in Photoshop, editing, or motion graphics. Having access to a creative learning space like Skillshare, where you can learn what you want at your own pace, is such a valuable resource. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for anyone who is looking to learn a new skill, level up, or refine an existing skill set. Having recently jumped on camera for this channel, I needed to brush up on my video production skills. I joined the class DIY Video Production for Content Creators by Pro pro filmmaker Henry with a particular interest in how to light a small space for filming YouTube videos. Henry's course was beginner friendly and not only covered lighting but a wide range of lessons, from script and planning your shoot to camera setup and editing. Skillshare launches new premium classes each week that are ad-free with subtitles in multiple languages. It's a game changer for those like me who love to learn, explore and discover new skills. And so, the first 1,000 people to use the link or my code PhaseRunner will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Link in the description. And just adding in a few highlights. I really like the lighting here to these doorways to the city, so let's make a selection so we can emphasize that some more by upping the exposure. And then let's take it one step further by creating a nice shaft of light beaming out. For that, we'll use a color fill adjustment layer set to screen. Okay, it's not looking too bad so far, all things considered. And that's also our first image used. Next up. It was going so well. Nope, I got nothing yet. Now, this next part could go very wrong. For some reason, I thought it would be a good idea to turn the laptop into a spaceship. Yeah, let's see how this goes. So first of all, I'll rotate it, squash it down, and then warp the right side just to round off the front. And then we can use the tip of this pen to create a few more exhausts for the back of the ship. And then let's cut out this arm. And we'll use it as, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but it somehow doesn't look too terrible once we change the color and smudge a few areas. It creates a nice bit of random form factor for the underside of the ship. Paint in a few shadows. And then we can duplicate the main section a couple of times and put it in various places just to add to the shape of the overall ship. And add a few more shadows and highlights. It's slowly starting to come together now. Okay, cool. Nope. So this keyboard image will work perfect for adding some extra varied sci-fi lights to the main structure. We can set the layer mode to lighten, erase any unwanted parts, and just duplicate and place where needed. For the fiery light image, we can use that to add a bit of texture to the light given off from the doorway. Create a few wisps of vapor here and there. This frothy coffee has got a cool texture to it. That'll make for a nice planet with a little bit of work. If we make a selection of the plant and then go to Filter, Distort and Twirl, when we overlay it, it should give us some nice planetary swirls on the surface to work with. Just need to find the right balance of lighting and shadows. Not too bad for some coffee. And let's paint in a bit more lighting for the atmosphere. Using the fiery image again, just to add a bit more texture. And finally, an idea clicks. Now, of course, I wasn't just going to stick the cat into the scene, but we can take one of the cat's eyes, and with a little bit of work, this can be a windshield for our spaceship. And that's now all 5 images used. Phew. Let's add in some light flames for the exhaust. And then, feeling a bit guilty because I only used a single eye, I'm going to use some of the fur to add a bit of texture to the ship as well. We've got the key elements in place now. Let's bring this one home so I can reveal the final image to you. And here's what we've ended up with. Around 2 hours on this one. Definitely a challenge. That cat, well, less said about that the better, but I had a lot of fun getting creative with these random photos, and I think for a first try, it came out pretty good. Well, that does it for this episode. Be sure to like, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. And if you want more Photoshop content, why don't you check out the video above. I'll see you next time.